I can't work like
The star ran off. So here we are, the Geek Speak Show at the Silver Screen Festival, the first one, and we're here with Rob Pryor. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Great.
Having a good time at the show?
Yeah, I was going to ask you the same thing. How's it going for you?
Oh, I'm having a great time. This is the first time I've ever done a horror film convention, or festival, whatever. Yeah. It's fantastic. The fans have been great. Everything's been great.
Yeah, the way I see it is, here on the Geek Speak Show, we cover a lot of the comic book conventions. This is what it's like, but for horror fans.
I'm at comic convention. Like next week, I'll be in Chicago, and so yeah, I do a lot of different conventions designed for fans. So this is a little different for me as well.
Yeah, what I like about this one, it's a lot more intimate than those conventions.
I love it because for me, like actually getting down to sit down with like Robert Englund and just
I was going to say Robert Englund just walked past me a few minutes ago. Yeah, like, where else can you get that?
Last night, like David Naughton and I sat down for a beer and we just shot the crap about everything for a while. So the intimacy about this is amazing.
Yeah, so for the few who may be wondering who's Rob Pryor, what does he do? Who is Rob Pryor and what do you do?
I'm in sanitation.
That's from Star Wars. That was Finn, actually. No, but they can kind of see what you can do.
Yeah,
go ahead and tell them.
I'm an artist. I do a lot of paintings. I do a lot of work with Lucasfilm. I do a lot of work with the Game of Thrones guys, CW. So I do a lot of that on this stuff, and then I also direct movies and create TV shows. So
a few fun things that you may have heard of. So just talk about a little bit about what you have here, especially this one right here. That's the one that caught my attention.
That was for Lucasfilm, and it was their opening night in theaters. It was shipped to a bunch of theaters around the country, and there are only 400 of them made, and that was for the opening night. And then I also painted at the premiere of Star Wars. So
the one in L.A.?
Yeah. So that was fun. I mean, Lucasfilms are a blast. And, if I say anything else, I'll probably get sued. Just kidding! But yeah, doing stuff with them is great. I just, Box Lunch and Hot Topic are now carrying a line of my Star Wars merchandise. So I have a Rob Pryor Lucasfilm merchandise line. So yeah.
How long have you been drawing and painting?
Since I was 15 professionally. I was 15 and working professionally, lying about my age. I was like, I would have my dad take the phone calls and stuff like that. Like, yes, I'll get it done. And he'd look at me and he goes, can you get it done? I'm like, yeah, I think so, maybe.
A lot of people have that story, but about getting into the military. I learned about my age. You got into this that way. I've been trained to be an artist like my whole life. My parents were training me like from birth. So it's just what I was going to end up doing. So you were born with a silver paintbrush?
I was born with a silver paintbrush. Haha, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
And I've just been doing it for so long. And I'm old, dude. I'm old. I'm like 907.
Yoda. So who's not Yoda, but who was your inspiration when you first started way back then?
My dad and my family were my first inspirations, and then a really good friend of my father's, his name is Robert Heindel, who's a really famous American artist, also guided me a lot. And then my inspiration, just looking at other people, Drew Struzan was a big one. I think he's pretty much everybody's in some way. Yeah,
kind of see that in this one actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of that in my work, just because you grow up looking at people and you're like, God, I want to be that someday.
Let me ask you this, because you get it. I grew up with that also, the Drew Struzan posters. What do you think of the way they do posters now, where it's just basically a Photoshop? Here, we'll throw them on there, and there's your marketing.
When we're off the air, remind me to show you something. I miss the days of the really cool poster.
Yeah.
I think that a lot of times posters are just sort of cheesed out. But there's not a lot of illustrators that do that anymore. So, and with everybody with art going the way it's gone, I think it's just looked at differently. So posters are looked at a little cheaper than like if they're doing, like I'm looking at the Civil War poster over there.
Yeah.
Side clip. But I look at that and I go, God, it would have been a better painting.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's just put the actors on there and there's your poster.
And it's disappointing that it's not like the days of the Indiana Jones posters and, Drew Struzan doing that stuff and, all those other artists. It was great.
Yeah, see, and I literally see it as the end of an era, not with what I do, the voice stuff. When Don LaFontaine passed away, we no longer get trailers that say "In a World." We don't get that anymore. It's just here's the movie, you go watch it.
Yeah. So, no, you're right. It's changed. It's all. I think the entertainment industry itself has just changed so much, and somewhere along the way, it'll change again, and 50 years from now, there's gonna be two people standing here going, "Do you remember when there was people on a poster?" And I don't know.
Well, but wait, because I know there's probably some art students saying, "Well, wait, I'm learning all this digital stuff. You mean you're saying I shouldn't?" But,
no, as an artist, you need to know. Here's the thing: there's a lot of people who do digital stuff. You guys better listen to this. That can't paint, and that's a shame because you learn from every aspect of it. I paint digitally as well.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I do mixes. I'll paint in one style and I'll mix it with. You've got to be able to do everything if you really want to be a well-rounded artist, and that's just sort of how I look at it. There's a lot of great Photoshop stuff, and look, it's a great tool to learn. So I'm not telling anybody don't learn it, but go pick up a paintbrush.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Really, in everything. I mean, not just in this, but in anything creative, especially. I know everything is digital. That's the sexy thing to do today. But yeah, get your hands dirty. Literally, I mean, you got some.
Yeah, I'm like.
Speaking of
paint all over.
Yeah, but talk about this big one that we have here also.
It was a quick 40-minute piece. It was. I told Philip Kim, the guy who's running all of this. I said I'll be painting the whole time because I've never painted in such an intimate setting. I'm usually on stage with like rock bands or like I'm Jay-Z or Flo Rida or somebody like that. So I'm on stage painting with them.
Yeah.
So the crowds are way out there. This is one of the first times that I've ever had them
they're actually right
here, and then asking me questions right after.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And this was just a quick 40-minute piece. I'm going to do a American Werewolf in London piece tonight, and I'm going to paint 2 more pieces tomorrow.
You doing it here or in the panel?
I have no idea where I'm doing it.
No good question.
Idea. I don't know if they'll have me do it in the panel because then I don't know if I don't want to fight for the competition of I don't want Rick Baker to punch me.
So, well, you can do the make him and say, "Hey, I punched him." But again, this is the first time they do this Famous Monsters of the Film, and then putting this on. This is the first time they do something like this anywhere in the Bay Area, really. I mean, but there's been some other ones, some film festivals or horror conventions. From what you've seen so far, is it pretty good? And you hope it comes back even bigger next year?
I hope it comes back bigger. I'll do it every year. I think it's been fantastic. I think this is needed, and especially it's needed by Famous Monsters of Film.
Yeah.
The magazine's been around forever. I grew up on it. So I think for them to have their own show is super important. It keeps it all alive.
Yeah, and I never met him, but Uncle Forey, who founded Famous, he would have loved this.
He would have loved it, absolutely.
Yeah.
I wish I had got a chance to meet him as well. So yeah, I think this is where it should have gone and should always go. And that's the magazine's still alive and doing fantastic. And I think it just needs to branch out and reach areas that it wouldn't normally reach.
Yeah. So, and this is definitely one way to do it.
I love it.
So back to you. I mean, if anybody wants to buy some of these things, do you do commissions or too busy?
I don't do a lot of commissions. Occasionally, I'll do 1 or 2, but most of the time I'm busy. And then I've got a film I'm going to be filming in May called Whisper for Insurgent Films. Plug. Ha. And, shameless plug. And I've created a few TV shows that are getting ready to shoot, and so I've just with my schedule, I do what I can. So I don't do
genre
a lot of
TV shows or just like dramas or
one of them. Well, they're all genre. One of them I can talk about openly called Red Brick Road. with Warner Brothers and Lifetime.
And the rest you just have to keep watching.
And the rest you just have to keep watching.
Are you online on Twitter and all that?
Oh yeah.
Where can they follow you there?
You can for Twitter, I believe it's Prior to Art, PRIOR, the number 2 Art, and Rob Prior Official for Facebook, and Instagram is also Prior to Art.
And that's where you can see all of this, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you can see everything that's here, and I've got all kinds of stuff. I keep wanting to cuss like a sailor, but I'm avoiding it just for you.
Well, it's okay. I mean, there may be some kids, but they've heard this stuff before.
Okay.
So, Rob Prior, this is what he does. You know where to follow him. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Brother, thank you so much for your time.